Hello, welcome to the channel and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to take a look at the Sony Walkman WM-FX26. Nice little unit from the 1990s. I've had this particular one rattling around for a little while. It doesn't work and I think it just needs a new belt, so I thought we'd take a quick look at that today. This particular one comes with a nice little pouch, genuine branded Walkman pouch there with the room for a cassette tape and little carry straps and all that sort of stuff. But we'll lose that, we don't need that today. So let's take a quick look at the actual unit itself then. So, as I say, it's the WM-FX26. Got some quite nice features really. It's a radio cassette player. So it's got AM, FM and indeed FM stereo radio. But you've also got your mega bass there for super deep low end and a 2-band EQ as well. So you've basically got your low and your high frequency sliders there. You've also got Dolby noise reduction built in, and your auto volume level as well, which you can sort of select via the switch on the top just to regulate the volume output. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, it's kind of, how would we explain this? It's kind of a nicely spec'd model from the 1990s that is fairly well made, fairly well spec'd, but it was getting to the stage where things were mass produced and built to a certain price, I guess. So regular viewers to the channel will have seen some of the early Walkmans and Sanyo Walkman type cassette players and stuff that I've worked on, and they are really held together really well with lots of screws and metal brackets and that kind of thing. But by the 1990s things were very much cheaper, they were snapped together, less components, much quicker to produce. Did make them in some respects sometimes easier to service, but actually in some respects also more difficult to service, because you found with the fragility of how they're clipped together, quite often the tabs would break and things like that, and actually they'd become sort of worse for wear quite quickly. Also the surfaces aren't necessarily as hard wearing as they used to be. But anyway, we'll take a look at this particular one. So as I say, it just needs a new belt today, and then I'll give it a bit of a clean up and we'll take a closer look from there. So we'll take the belt clip off. I don't think we really need to get into it, but just to show you how it's done, it's easy as that. The battery compartment cover is built in, so we don't need to remove that either. And so here we go then. Basically what we need to do is pop this open. There's a couple of tabs on the inside there that we're just going to poke through with a screwdriver, and that will allow us to unclip the back. And it's as easy as that. So there we go, and we're in. Really not much to it at all. As I say, it's one of those things that in some respects is really easy and convenient. In other hand, it's kind of difficult, because if you don't get the clips right, they can snap off and then you can't get it back together again afterwards. But anyway, here we go. So we can see now that you've got all sorts of cogs and gears going on here. So there's not too much going on in terms of consumable parts or deteriorating parts, but I do notice that the belt itself has definitely gone, and that's probably the only thing we need to replace today. So I'll get some tweezers and get that out. There was definitely no way that that was ever going to do anything. Just caught it in time. It's a bit sticky and it would have disintegrated in fairly short order, I think. So that's that one anyways. I've got a new one ready to go. You can at this stage, if the belt had degraded, you could get in there and clean all the pulleys and what have you, but to be honest, cheap and cheerful video today. Everything's geared, as I say. You can probably see all that in there now. So there's no reason to do much else with this. It's not seized, everything kind of moving freely by hand. Motor's turning nicely. Yeah, happy days. So there's no need to undo any solder joints or anything like that. So yeah, all in all, really dead simple to do the belt. You can go in here and clean the switches if you need to, and indeed the volume potentiometer and stuff like that as well. But again, as I say, not required today. So we get the belt on there, feed it through, run it through a couple of times, make sure there's no kinks or twists in it, and you can see all the gearing working inside. Perfect, job done. Incidentally, there's a semi-variable resistor there and a little potentiometer for adjusting the speed, but you can do that afterwards, I think. Yeah, I think there is a, that might line up. There it is, there's the hole. So there's a little hole that lines up, so you can actually get in there with a small screwdriver and adjust the speed in situ once everything's fully assembled. But there we go, job done. So we'll just get this back together. Get some batteries in. And that should do the trick. So just hook up some headphones, we'll get a cassette in, see what happens. In fact, I'll hook up my little JSX37 speakers just there. Right, here we go. Nice. And the other side. Marvellous. Can't give you too much because of content matches and stuff like that, but there you go, quick and easy. I mean, despite my rambling on, it's still only taken a couple of minutes. So happy days. There's the Walkman WM-FX26. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you found it useful. Do check out some of my other videos. I've got a bunch more Walkman type devices, boomboxes, 8-track players, vintage video games, that kind of stuff. Anyway guys, look after yourself. I'll see you soon. All the best for now. Bye bye.